JP.
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Hamez Sports live stream. We're going to be talking about Nunez because I feel like we haven't spoke about Nunez for a while. I feel like Hamez has been low-key avoiding the Nunez talks and maybe possibly not being wanting to take the slander that is being kind of heading his way because of this Nunez stuff. So that's the first thing. Second of all, I hope you're all well and welcome back to the live streams. We've got an official name, Hamez Sports. I've entertained the name, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's one of those things where I think Hamez Sports makes a lot of sense. Hamez Sports, kind of like Sky Sports, but improved, better, upgraded. The show where we talk about a bunch of topics, not just Liverpool topics, no more chat. We're going to talk about football ones, but that'll be towards the end. Liverpool stuff will always be the priority, out the way, and I'll even try and start doing timestamps for them. Big up to man like Josiah Boateng, Myri Festus. Big up to you, Louis A. Honestly, Hortensia starting. Oh, some breaking news. Okay, so before we address the Darwin stuff, I trust Honesty Hortensia. He's a reliable source on the many orders and degrees. Now, is Kostas Tsimikas confirmed as a new deal? Oh, wow. Chat, we've got breaking news. We've got breaking news to start the stream. Kostas Tsimikas, who's kind of been in the light of a lot of criticism recently, I'm not going to lie, for the fact that he's the Greek scouser, he's been getting a lot of shite. But he has signed a new contract with Liverpool. What a beautiful thing for a beautiful man.
Everything.
The Greek scouser!
This team has many things to achieve. I wanted to be from the first minute a part of it. How you feel when you play in Anfield, like, it's priceless. It's something magic you can't describe with words. For me, it was the right step to extend my contract to stay here. Greek Scouser is here, and he's here to stay.
He's here to stay! Here we go. Kostas Tsimikas, the Greek Scouser, stays on Merseyside. Well, I suppose that's a fun topic to go into dead quick. Let me just give my thoughts on Kostas Tsimikas. One of the best left-backs, backup left-backs that you could ask for. And I feel like that just... It's very easy to forget. Do you get what I'm saying? I agree, Louis. I think he's a good backup. I think it's easy to forget how good Kostas Tsimikas was when he came into the team and how good he's been anytime he stepped up as a backup. And granted, you know, in the game against LASK, I didn't think he was great. Didn't think he set the world alight based on performance. But I do believe that's some positive good news. And I think Kostas Tsimikas being a backup, we should always aim and strive for depth. And we should always not criticise someone who's barely plays, who comes in for one game and it's like, oh, he's not good enough. There was times where you were talking about that dude starting above Robertson. So make sure that you understand that you were willing to start him above Robertson before you slander his name. And Liverpool have extended his contract. It's really not a bad thing to have. And also, chat, WRL, Tsimikas gets into most teams in the league. Let's call a spade. You know what I mean? Tsimikas gets into most teams in the league as a starter. So that's some nice news. I'm really happy about that, to be fair. And I'd love to know your thoughts as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it as well, Captain Sal. I really am. I think it's sound. Even like what Louis A says here, Tsimikas is a good backup. And also it's been confirmed by himself on Instagram. And that's something that we've been sort of looking at for a while. And I would assume that the next set of contract talks go with Thiago. And I'm not saying that Thiago deserves a contract extension. I just believe, based on the reports I've seen, that he might be the next dude that we go in for in terms of a contract extension. But I think we're probably going to maybe delay that until we see his availability. I also don't think it's a great idea to give Thiago a contract extension right now. I think we need to see some football from him this season. Sam says, personally, I think he's been poor recently, but maybe I'm being harsh. He was very good when he first came to the club and does bag his assists. Defensively, not sure, but can't complain. I hear what you're saying, and he's not the perfect left-back, but for a backup left-back, and he's happy at the club, and he's established at the club, and you can clearly see that he's great for morale. He's one of Salah's best mates. I'm just saying that you don't pay people, hundreds of Ks a week for being best buds, but you can still sit there and say, you know what, he's the dude, he's doing good, and I think it's a good choice. Just needs regular game time. I mean, he needs to earn it first and foremost. I think with the form that Robertson's in, it's pretty tough to deny Robertson, the Scottish way man from Fregan. Where's he from, chat? Is he from Edinburgh? Big up to Philip. Tsimikas is a great backup, so I'm happy about that. I agree. Ali Ace references the question that I asked about who's going to be the next person we sign on an extension, and he's saying that it'll be Trent. I think that makes the most sense, to be honest with you. I think that makes the most sense. This one I don't really agree with, and he had a world-class performance the other day, so it's not based on that, but I don't agree with this. Matip should get a new contract. He kept that gobshite Antonio quiet all game. He was dishing out the pockets. And Virgil van Dijk's been amazing this season, but I thought Matip was an old school Joe Matip and Virgil van Dijk partnership performance. I thought that was an unbelievable game from Joe Matip. He was doing his giraffe runs. He read the game well. He won every aerial duel, as well as Van Dijk. So that's really, really cool. And I'm happy that that people are not shitting on him like the way he was before the game. I don't get that, you know. Like, oh, he barely plays and he does this and he does that. First and foremost, Joe Matip's had a much better injury record in recent time. And he's not being like the worst of a bad bunch. People saying he's finished. I think that was too far. Know what I mean? I think that was too far. That Sobo tweet. What did Szoboszlai tweet, Sam? Did Szoboszlai tweet, or are you just saying I tweeted about Szoboszlai? Because the latter is very, very possible. But I do want to speak about Nunez, because I think that's the most intriguing topic to break down today's show. We're going to talk on Nunez. We're going to talk on how Liverpool have extended or potentially are set to extend the Nike deal. And what does that mean in terms of funds? And then we're going to be getting Arsenal fan Primsy on the show, one of the hottest prospects in the game when it comes to Arsenal fan talk. Do you get what I'm saying? So, stack show, big show, Hamez Sports, new rendition, episode 1. It's going to be gas. It's going to be gas. Yeah, so Sam, you mentioned something about... He said it was a 6-pointer. Oh, okay. So Szoboszlai was low-key running shots back. Oh, okay, fair dues. Do you know what, chat? I actually want to try and find something before we get into the Nunez talk, and it's regarding Szoboszlai. But it was after the LASK game, right? And basically, he went over to the LASK fans and just gave them a bunch of shit. Yeah, this is the video. Right there, I found it. It's on Paul's Twitter. Right there, I don't want a full screen because we've got to share it with you guys. Right, let me just share this with you. And he's giving them all shit, and he's going to the LSK fans. Like, well, he's not doing that, obviously. But you can see he's giving them a piece of his mind. What a gorgeous Hungarian man right there. So I'll explain the backstory behind this in a sec. But here's the video. Look. He's a shitbag. He's a shitbag and he's our shitbag. Look at them. So, the story behind this clip right here, is the fact that LASK are a Austrian team, I'm led to believe. And the cool thing behind it is that obviously Szoboszlai used to play for Salzburg, and Salzburg and LASK are big rivals in that league. And what I love is that Szoboszlai is still holding the sour grapes, you know what I'm saying? He's holding the sour grapes to where he's like, actually, I'm the guy, you know what I'm saying? And you guys aren't treating me like I'm the guy. And yeah, like what's quite cool about it is the fact that you can see he's passionate towards opposition rivals in a sense that if we play Everton or Man United and he was to hold the same energy, bear in mind he's not been in Austria for 3 to 4 years, right? But in this instance, he's still going at their fans, giving them the big uns. Imagine when he scores and dunks Everton. Imagine when he scores and dunks Man United and drops a 10 out of 10. Think about the shamelessness from the best Hungarian player to ever exist. Oh, what a gorgeous, gorgeous man Szoboszlai is. My favourite player at the club at the moment by far. But on to the next player, who's been people's favourite by far, Darwin Nunez. Stop disrespecting Darwizzy and apologise, says Josiah. Well, Josiah, I'm not going to do what you told me to do because that would make me a bitch, and I think you're the bitch out of us two, right? I love you, sir, but I think you're the bitch out of us two. Listen, brother, I'm not going to sit there and apologise for Nilt. You know what I'm saying? I've done my apologies. I'm not going to apologise to you because I'm a petty guy. The question I want to raise, you know me, I'm a thought-provoking guy, and I like to sort of bring up questions. Nunez has been great, and he absolutely deserves to start. He deserves to continue the run of form that he's been on. I think overall performances at times haven't been great, but he's been doing his job, which is getting goals, getting assists, doing the priority. But are we going too far? Are we going too far as a collective fan base? Even me, you've heard my shameless mouth talk about Nunez in recent time. Is it a bit too soon to sit there and say this is the start of the villain arc of Darwin Nunez? Or are we just being slightly reactionary? No, slightly. Because we do need to break it down. The goal was fantastic. And there was a loads of other instances in the game which was positive to take from Nunez. But then you do also still have to raise the question. There's been games where he's missed big chances, but he's made it up for the chances that he's scored. But his conversion rate still needs to improve. I think we can all agree. Let's also not take away from the fact Gakpo is still quality and Jota is still quality. And people have completely shunned Gakpo and Jota out of the picture. When these are the same fans for years and years and years, we're saying we need squad depth. We can't just have a false nine. We also need a goal scorer. We need this. We need that. Well, now we've got squad depth and everybody has got a problem. So I just think we need to be a little bit careful. I don't think it's good, nor productive, nor sensible to sit there and say Nunez is the guy right here, right now, guaranteed 100% and nobody can take his place. I don't think that's the energy that we should go in with. But do I agree that Nunez is the most informed Premier League striker at the moment? Yes. Do I agree that him and Salah is the best duo that the world's seeing at the moment? Yes. And do I think should break that up? No, I don't. So this whole narrative that I say about Nunez, starting or coming off the bench, I do think it always takes Nunez a while to grow into games. Chat WRL. I think that it takes him sometimes a good 50, 55 minutes to get into a game, sometimes a little bit less. But I do think that he's more of a second half merchant opposed to a first half merchant. And I've seen that even when he starts. So I've still recommended the idea, well, maybe get more of a better initial burst out of somebody like Gakpo, bring on Nunez. But I think Nunez has done so well in terms of the credit that he's built himself. Now he can go out there and say, actually, let me just keep building on my form to where I can start the game well and I can start the opening 20, 25 minutes well. Because he deserves that chance. The goals he scored has been not just normal goals, they've been great goals. He scored two great goals against Newcastle, a world-class goal yesterday. I think he deserves the chance. He needs to be provided opportunity. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one thing that I will agree with on Nunez sexuals, but the one thing I won't agree with is the Jota slander and the Gakpo slander. It doesn't come hand in hand. You don't start now praising Nunez and then shit on the guys who've been carrying you while Nunez has been shit. Right? Let's just get that clear, because people will say to me, oh, James, you need to apologise. He was worse than what I expected him to be last season. I've just gave him his praise this season, so I'm not even shitting on Nunez. But last season, he was diabolically shit. I'll debate any one of you guys on it. I wanted to scratch my fucking guys out anytime he came on the pitch last season. Not because of an agenda, but because he was missing one-on-ones on a regular basis, causing a detriment to the team. When he went out the team, Gakpo came in the team, and we improved. Because I want the best for the overall success of the football club, right? So that's why I was happy to see Gakpo come in, make a big difference. And it increased the overall goals. So it's not that I'm saying Nunez is shit, but I had this. So I saw the game that he played against us in the Champions League, where he scored 2 goals at Anfield against us. He was great. But I also said, well, actually, we play a very, very high line. And because we play a high line, that type of style that a team plays is very adherent to a quick, pacey striker like Darwin Nunez, right? So he was stylistically adherent to play against us, and that could be a factor to why he did so well, because of that high line, because people with pace thrive in that system. We then buy Nunez, and guys, I didn't have great hope because I didn't think he was going to get that space or those high line opportunities that maybe he got presented in Portugal or maybe he got presented in Europe at times because he's got a great European record. I just didn't think he was going to get presented this opportunity. Do also take into consideration we were going from Firmino and Mane to a completely different type of player, and I think we saw the struggles early doors. I think we saw them immediately. And then even over the course of the season, I don't think Nunez got any better. He still had some good moments, but good moments isn't a 75, 80 million pound striker who's going to win your league titles. So that was my problem last season. But going back into this season, he's improved. He's more composed. He's more clinical. His technique's still not really great, But I do think he's making better decision-making with the technical ability that he's had. And for those reasons, I'm really, really proud of him. You know what I mean? I think it's important that all he can do is prove people like me wrong. And last season, he never proved me wrong, not one bit. In fact, he was much worse than what I thought he was going to be. I thought he could have still got 20 goals. But my argument was, just because one player gets 20 goals and they're an outlet, it doesn't mean there's an overall benefit for the team. Hear me out. Ronaldo, prior to joining Man United finished second. Man United then signed Ronaldo. They finished sixth. They let go of Ronaldo and finished third. Now they're just crap again. But what I'm saying is that they relied on a main outlet, which disrupted the overall style of play. They moved Bruno deeper down the pitch. Ronaldo was then given the majority of the chances. And he'd score some. He'd miss some. He'd have some good games. But the majority of the games were bad. And that's what happened with Nunez. We just went from having Sadio Mane, who was in the best form of his entire Liverpool career, into Nunez coming into the team. And the difference was absolutely huge if you go back and watch the start of last season. Also, he was reckless, and also there was loads of these things. So I weren't necessarily proven wrong last season. I'm now being proven wrong this season because I didn't think he was going to improve the way that he has improved in terms of his mental game. The physical game, the technical game, I knew that was never going to improve. His finishing hasn't improved. His dribbling hasn't improved because those things barely improve after a certain age, but you can have better decision-making. And that's what Nunez has got in abundance right now. He's got a team that believes in him, a manager that believes in him. And that's what matters, chat. Do you get what I'm saying? Jota was an amazing piece of business. And that's the thing. You know, Nunez still hasn't done what Jota's done in that quadruple chasing season, chat. Jota scored 20 goals prior to January. And we're just going to write him off. And like I said, right now, Nunez needs to start, no doubt. But just don't be a reactionary prick and then write off Jota and Gakpo. I don't think that's smart, sincere, or honest. Depending on the opposition, we should pick the forward line. I agree. I think that based on the opposition, if we need more of a poacher, you go with Jota. If you need your wingers to create or have more chances created, bring on Gakpo. Or if you want to have an outlet up front in the middle of the park, you bring on Nunez. And I think Nunez is so good as a final half an hour type player that if we're going to play against the deep line, I think Nunez should come on in the final 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Just because I think he can do that job. Molina, our miracle, Xabi Alonso, won 4-1 with Leverkusen. Still wonderful. We'll talk on Xabi Alonso, so remind me to talk on him at the end of the stream. Don't understand the Jones slander. People moan that we miss Genie, and Curtis is doing well in the Genie role. He's doing it well. Okay, we'll talk on Curtis in a second. Let me see if I can round up any conclusions on the Darwin Nunez talk. But that's a good comment, that, Liam, so I'll actually get into that in a second. Festus says, why are we giving him excuses? Can we not just say he's good in Europe because he is because he is? Some players don't have a reason why they score. They just do it with nothing to do with the high line. Festus, that's very insincere, isn't it? That's very, very insincere. There's a reason why someone like Erling Haaland against teams that aren't as good in the Champions League, he scores loads against. For instance, Leipzig when he scored like 5 goals against them. And then there's also a reason why he never scored in the semi-final and the final, because now it's a little bit more compact. Inter Milan are a better team defensively, and so are Real Madrid. So now it's going to be significantly harder for Haaland to get the goals that he was getting against Leipzig and a high line Leipzig. So no, I don't think you're right. I think a high line isn't just because he's a good player. I think a good player can maximize a high line, especially when you've got pace like that. Torres would thrive on high lines, like when he left Vidic for dead, for instance. If you're going to say that Man United not playing a high line that day had no impact on Torres being able to score, you are dusty, bro. And that is a dusty opinion. Festus, you know I love you. Dusty opinion. You need to understand systems, bro. You can't just ignore it and say, oh, he's just a good player, so it always works. Nah, bro. Systems absolutely matter. There's a reason why all of our players, the majority of our players, weren't on the pedestal prior to Liverpool, post-Liverpool, or at Liverpool. For instance, Virgil van Dijk weren't the guy that he was now, but systematically, he came into a team that we built around. His attributes complemented it, and we complemented him, the quality around him. Salah, 18-goal-a-season player at Roma, but then let's fast forward to Liverpool, doubles those numbers because of the systematic implementations. You feel what I'm saying? Sadio Mane, average Southampton winger, but then he moves to Liverpool, does absolutely boss. Why? Because of the season. Or the system, sorry. And no, Festus, you're not dusty. That was a dusty opinion, I'm saying. You're saying, oh, James, you're just saying Nunez weren't good because of a high line, bar, missing the complete entire point. I didn't think he was that good at Benfica, technically. And I didn't think going from Firmino or Mane was sensible, because they were both so technical. But then we went from those guys to Nunez, and I just didn't see the comparison there. I just thought, wait there, what's happening here? And Nunez was even worse in the first season than even I had anticipated. But then this season, he's massively overachieved. Not based on technical ability, but based on being at the right place at the right time with the right decision making. Do you feel what I'm saying, Festus? You know what is great? Klopp kept his promise, and he said he keep the opponents guessing, and that's what we are doing. That's what we need to keep doing. Every game's different. That's why you need depth. Even back in the day, you know, teams used to have quality strikers on the bench, you know what I'm saying? Sturridge was Chelsea's backup striker, chat, you know what I mean? Incredible scenes. You've notoriously got to have a top striker on the bench. Finn says, I don't like your hat. I don't like your face, and I don't even know your face, but I'm very grateful, and I'll be very thankful for the remainder of my day that I don't know your face, because I'm sure that it's fucking horrible. That's what you get for having a go at me, Cap. It's only a little flux, Cap. What's not to like about it? It's like a little mountain. It's boss. We play better with Nunez. The chemistry he has with Diaz and Salah compared to others is better. This season is better. It's a small sample size, but yet I agree. I think anytime Nunez has come on, we've looked a little bit better. Do you get what I'm saying? We've seen it, James. We are visionaries, bro. We are the guys. We are the guys. And I never said he weren't insane at Benfica. I just said I didn't like his attributes, and that was clearly proven last season, that his attributes weren't that good. Anybody can go to Saudi and score 30 goals, doesn't mean they can translate it in the Premier League. Anyone can go to Portugal, score 20 goals, doesn't mean they can translate it in the Premier League. You've seen it time and time again. Nunez is yet to translate it in the Premier League in terms of high volume numbers, but he has been playing better. If he keeps going the way he's going, then we've got a top player, and people are going to interpret everything I've just said as like this really, really bad thing. Oh, Finn, fuck off. It's none of that shit, mate. It's a flux symbol. Finn, listen, I like conspiracies as well. I'm onto all the Masonic symbols and stuff like that. But please, stop being a tit. I'm a Scouser who lives in Kirkdale. No Masonic upper-level people are living in Kirkdale, you absolute donut. This is a flux sign. Do you not see the friggin'... I was going to take my cap off, but that is shit myself. It's a flux sign. Stop being a gimp. Watch less TikTok, because I know that's where you're getting all your fucking conspiracy videos from. And leave me be. And leave me cap be. Me hair sweaty at the moment. Fucking elfin. Masonic symbol. Fuck off. Seriously. Honestly, though, I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I actually am getting a haircut tomorrow. No, I've said this for time as well. But I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. It's just one of those things, though, that, like, never installed TikTok, sadly. Well, wherever your sources are, you'd be better off going on TikTok. You can ease your mind a little bit more. I don't like your cap because it's got a Masonic symbol. You tit, Finn. That was one of the most tit comments I've ever read in my life. He believes that people are signing up with these people on YouTube, like at my level. Funny guy, fam. Looks like Captain Scarlet. Who's Captain Scarlet? And what's the cap look like? Anyway, don't understand the Jones slander. People moan that we miss Genie, then Curtis is doing the Genie role and he's doing it well. Disagree. Don't think that he's really doing a Genie role at all, in my opinion. I'll be honest with you. Genie was constantly involved. I just don't see Curtis Jones get involved at times. And listen, I don't think the slander should go too far. I don't think it should be Curtis has played bad this season. I don't think it should be Curtis doesn't deserve a chance at all or whatever. But I just think primarily, based on yesterday's game, I thought he hit quite a lot in that game. I'm not saying he was bad. When he was on the ball, it was good. And, you know, he got the offside goal, which was very narrow. But I do think that Curtis Jones can do a lot more to get involved in the game to improve the style of play. Now, there is a reason why Klopp's playing him, of course. And it's because he's obviously doing his job to a degree. And listen, if systematically Klopp's found something that I just haven't noticed yet, I'm fine with that. But however, I also would sit there and say that we need to be a little bit more patient on Curtis Jones and that you can absolutely still be constructive. Because people are going too far. I think, you know, people saying, oh, James, you're horrible because you didn't give Curtis Jones a 9 out of 10 on your player ratings, but you gave him a 7. It's like, okay, fair enough. I didn't see what you saw. But let's not go too far because I know I never saw a 9. Even if I open my eyes and primarily watch Curtis Jones for that entire game, I know I wouldn't have seen a 9 out of 10 performance. I know it. Not a chance. There was nothing that Curtis done. Let's think about what a 9 out of 10 is. And let's think about what Genie was. How often did we give Genie a 9 out of 10? Very rarely. How often did we give Genie a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10 on a good day? Do you get what I'm saying? Often, constantly. So that's why I'm saying, sitting there, if Curtis Jones is the Genie replacement like you claim, Liam, which is a fair one, I think that's a sound comparison. If stylistically you want to get Curtis to do the Genie role, but for me, I genuinely believe that Genie, or Curtis, sorry, can do that role, but he's going to do it at a 7 out of 10. He's never going to be a 9 out of 10 because that's just that's part and parcel with the job. Yeah, so that's the way I'd explain it there. Those fireworks. Right there, chat. 1 sec. I'm just making sure those are fireworks and not anything else. Chat, someone's trying to shoot up my house. Trying to shoot up my house. How dare they interrupt my stream. But yeah, man, that's the gist of the first 2 topics. We do have obviously a lot more to get into throughout the stream as well. Nike sponsorship deals. That's something that Liverpool are looking to extend. If I just get that up dead quick for you. How come I haven't got Twitter up no more? Did I get it down? Or did I put it down? Let me have a little look because I've put it on my Twitter. But let me know your thoughts on Curtis Jones as well. Do you agree with what I said there, chat? Yeah, so this was it. This was the thing that I was looking for before. Share screen. Go on Twitter. Do smash those likes as well, chat. You know that it gets the stream more out there and whatnot. That'd be beautiful. Liverpool are set to extend their sponsorship deal with Nike, according to Footy headlines. Don't mind it. But at the same time, I don't think Nike have been overly tremendous since joining the club. I'm not going to lie. Not that it's a bad thing. It's always good. It should be good for money and stuff like that. However, yeah, I just don't think... I don't think that... For instance, I don't think Nike kits have been better than New Balance kits. That's one thing. Second of all, the pricing of these kits are absolutely insane. Even Adidas, I thought Adidas... If you were to rank Adidas, New Balance and Nike, how are you ranking that? I think Adidas have got to be first because they've just got all the classic kits that I love, like 0809 and stuff like that. And then I'd say Standard Chartered second, and then I'd say Nike third. I just don't think Nike... I think this season's kit is actually really nice, to be honest. I actually do. But I just think they've under-delivered massively on so many parts. And I've seen them make some belter kits prior to this season for other teams, and it's been amazing. Really has been amazing. I was wrong about CJ play very good. Maybe Klopp took him out of the spotlight for a bit. Hey, listen, players work differently. They all work at different paces and get in the team at different ages. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Drunk Vigo for smashing that like button as well, man. What a guy. What an absolute guy. NBA kits were ridiculous, but they get ran out quickly each time. Looking for that black and gold keeper kit is still impossible. Yeah, that's a belter kit as well. That's a really good kit. You know what I'm saying? But it just seems like that one shirt that just seems to meet the criteria of the wider audience. Just goes to show like what the actual interest is. And I don't think Nike have been delivering on that part, but New Balance was quality, bro. New Balance was quality. But hopefully this deal just brings a significant influx of finances, which will be required. And on top of that as well, it'll be interesting seeing how Liverpool actually go forward and invest the money, especially with like the position of the squad now, because we've got so many good young players. Like the core of our squad is now became very young. You know what I'm saying? Like think about it. We've got Sobo, McAllister, Gravenberch, Nunez, Konate. I feel like before I was kind of, missing out on things, like where's the young players in the team? Do you get what I'm saying? Like Primsy's here now. I'll give him a proper introduction in a sec, but his team, Arsenal, they've got like proper good players, proper good young team. And I was thinking at one point, like, where's our young players? Like, where are the ones that we going to bring in and do a job? Now we're building that team. Now we can look at some of our players. We can say, you know what, Gravenberch, you've got potential. My guy McAllister, Super Sobo, all you potential. We're building, we're cooking. Do you feel what I'm saying, chat? But anyway, I want to start doing a bit of a different rendition on Hamez Sports, right? And I want to bring on some guests and whatnot on a regular basis. This is a dude that I've been a fan of for a while. Love his energy, love his channel, love his work, love his content. You should too. Cool Arsenal fan. Now, we know Arsenal fans can be unbearable. I can be unbearable, though. We're all unbearable together. They're just slightly worse. Primsy's a cool dude. And whatever shamelessness, whatever pride, whatever honesty, whatever he brings to the show. It's going to be great entertainment. It's going to be great value. And do know as well, his title or his YouTube channel link is in the title. Do subscribe. Make sure the time is invested back into. Anyway, without further ado, 1, 2, 3. It is Primsy. Going on, sir.
Yes, broski. What you telling me? You good, yeah?
I'm sick, bro. How are you?
I'm all right. Well, say I'm all right. Disappointed with yesterday, but just come back from the gym. You get me? Best for the mental status when you go to the gym and you get it pumped in. But that's about it, man. I think this overdue. To be fair, I've been a big fan of yours for a long time as well, man. And I think it's about time we did a little show together, bro. Big up. Thank you very much for having me on the channel. Big up everybody inside the comments as well. It's going to be a good one.
Hey, Primsy, I was going to say as well, bro, like, I appreciate you saying that because I messaged you earlier and you came on the show. You were like, yeah, we'll sort it today and whatnot. And I know you've got a show after this as well, but it won't be looking to take more than half an hour of your time. I am intrigued to know how you're feeling post yesterday's game. Overall, though, lad, as an Arsenal perspective, because I never speak about Arsenal. I'm a Liverpool fan, know what I mean? Don't really care about you. But I didn't think we were going to be in a title race. And Primsy, 6 games in, we're low-key in a title race. I think if you're second, 2 points behind first, we might not be in a title race in 4 or 5 games, but right now we're in a title race. We're even above you. So, Primsy, what's your aim for?
It's not a surprise to me that because obviously if you watch any of my stuff or you follow what I do a show called Premier League Unpacked with a couple of the good lads on there. I said it. I said for me, it's going to be City and Liverpool in first and second and Arsenal third. I thought it's going to be much harder for us this season than what it was last season because people have got our number now. And when there's no expectation on you, you tend to fly a little bit. But as soon as the pressure's on you, it can start boiling over the pot and you can get to some people. And we've seen that this season so far with Arsenal. That's my honest opinion. But look, just quickly touching on Liverpool before we dive onto the Arsenal situation. I think he's done very well. I think Klopp has brought in the right kind of players. Dominic Szoboszlai especially as well. Top signing. He's got rid of
quality, isn't he, bro? He's quality, bro.
Quality. We were linked to him, a few years back, and I'm gutted we never got him. But
he would everything that your manager wants out of Havertz. Szoboszlai not only brings, but he brings 10 times more. I remember a Chelsea fan came to me prior to the season, prior to Havertz moving to you guys, and it was like, oh, Havertz came from that league, and Havertz was praised in that way, bro. The levels are not even the same. Not even the same. You just need eyes, and you notice the improvements on Szoboszlai's game in comparison to Havertz. So I'm not shitting on your new star boy. I'm just simply saying that he, both footed, in my opinion, greater set pieces, tall present, fastest recorded.
Sorry, bro. I just had to laugh there, yo. They ain't our new star boy, first of all.
Don't you reckon, no?
Nah, bro. I don't know.
Because your fans are low-key licking his ass. Nah, Primsy. Your fans are low-key licking his ass, in my opinion.
Do you know what, bro? Like this chat says here, Primsy's a real one, bro. I say it as it is, you get me? I don't butter over anything, you get me? And whatever I see, that's how I call it. I'm not in here to try to make friends with any footballers or anything like that. I support my team. These players that are here now are going to end up leaving. New players are coming. But the interest that I have for my football club is a real one. And Havertz is an absolute disaster, in my opinion. £65 million, 300 bags a week. Yeah, when he puts the Arsenal shirt on, I want him to do well because he's playing for Arsenal. But when you look at what he's delivered in the Premier League over the last 3 years at Chelsea, is not being good enough. I don't understand what Arteta's seeing in him to think he's going to come in and replace Granit Xhaka in that position because he can't hit the barn door. He's not really very creative. Yeah, people might say he's physical. I don't think he's even that physical. He's just got a little bit of height on him. And tracking back, defending, that's not in his locker as well.
He's a slender man merchant. Everyone thinks, because he's tall, he's going to do dead boss. No, he's a slender man merchant. He's going to get bullied in the park. I've played Havertz, or our team has played Havertz 3 times in a final. Done fuck all in every final. People talk about, we scored in the Champions League final when it was put on a frigging plate and City were playing shit because Guardiola was doing a madness. Did nothing against us. Do you know what I'm saying, Prems?
No, I hear that, bro. And I think this is something that Arteta needs to fix real quick. I don't want him to die on this Havertz sword and fall on it because he's a very stubborn man, Arteta. We've seen, though, in the last few games, he hasn't started him, which is a benefit. It just shows that he can identify if a player isn't doing well and maybe drop them to the bench. But if we're talking about the whole North London derby, putting Havertz to one side, very disappointed for me. I think we've seen some fantastic North London derbies over the years, and that one, it didn't quite have that element of sitting on the edge of your seat, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? I think it was very lackluster from Arsenal. Yeah, definitely, man. Tottenham turned up and they played very well. They played their game to a T. And Arsenal just didn't show up for it. You get me? There was too much politeness going on. I seen a couple of people shaking hands, speaking to each other. Fuck all of that, James. You get me? I ain't interested in none of that. When it comes to a derby, you want to see these man fighting. And I said it in my AFTV fan cam as well. I said this game missed the Granit Xhaka in the middle of the park. And I honestly believe that because he's a no-nonsense midfielder. I'm not saying I wouldn't have sold him, but we needed that kind of player that takes these games serious. So it did lack that for me. We weren't clinical enough in front of goal. The opportunities that we had that we should have really buried, one, especially with Gabriel Jesus, and the other with Eddie Nketiah, you should have really squared it to Vieira.
Was that where Maddison gave away the ball? Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, exactly that, bro. You know what I mean? But instead of putting the ball in the corner, hitting it low and hard and just picking one of your corners, he tried to go for the Galactico and just smash it wide and high and handsome. And it was a fuckery, bro. I'm telling you now for a fact. Yeah, I think Declan Rice getting injured caused us a big problem in the second half. Mad.
Am I right in saying that Declan Rice has not got an injury record prior to his move to Arsenal and now he's injured?
Bro, it's a mad thing. I'm telling you now for a fact. Everyone that comes to Arsenal ends up getting an injury somewhere along the line. Yuri and Timber, never injured. Brilliant record.
Wild, that one
come to Arsenal, first game, out injured. Get me? And he's a big miss for me. I think he would have come in and he would have done some justice.
He's a quality player.
Yeah, pre-season, good as well. But yeah, Jorginho come into the midfield. Look, we've got two Chelsea rejects in there, and Jorginho and Havertz. It's just not good enough. We're meant to be building on what we've done last season, not regressing. And we got overrun. Sarr and Basuma in the middle of the park, top quality. And I'm going to give credit to Ange as well, because during the build-up of this game, doing previews even with troops and on Premier League Unpacked, a lot of the Arsenal guys were very confident, not giving Tottenham no credit, saying, you know what, we're going to just absolutely hammer these guys in. For me, I was very opposite. I said, look, I look at football, what's in front of me, you get me? To this moment now, Ange's come in within a few months. He's got Tottenham ticking. He's brought in some good quality players as well. I'm not saying the world beaters, but he's brought in some good quality players. Got a new goalkeeper in that's not making no mistakes. Van de Ven, that Adogi kid on the left. Basuma back into the squad looking good. James Maddison's got them ticking over from midfield to attack. It has been a transformation at Tottenham. Losing Harry Kane, I think all of us probably thought that, you know what, these men are going to probably finish 7th or 8th because Harry Kane's that good of a player. But maybe it's benefited him because now other people are taking responsibility, and look at Son now. He's looking back to his best. So I give them the respect, and I thought the players can't be going into this game with the same kind of mindset, thinking, you know what, we're going to absolutely batter Tottenham. You've got to take this game serious because form does go out the window in this game. We've seen bad Arsenals beat good Tottenhams and bad Tottenhams beat good Arsenals.
You usually have their number at Emirates, innit? Like typically, 100%. You usually have a good record against them at Emirates. Do you question, before I go into the Ramsdale Raya talk, because I think that's a great question, do you question anything from Arteta on this game based on his substitutions, decision-making, tactical set-out? Are you maybe starting to think, of course, the injuries have been crap, bro. Do you know when you get Timber and then that dude's just not available the whole season? That peak. And when you've got Partey being out constantly, that doesn't help the fact that you sold like Xhaka, for instance, because it's one less midfield body. So that's why I'm raising the question. That do you question? Because that's a big game. And if you win that game, you're still within a point of City. And I think the one thing you don't want is this early in the season being 4 points behind City already. So give your brief analysis on what you think of Arteta at the moment.
I think he's got a lot to answer for. I think sometimes he thinks he's too clever for his own good. We've seen him making a lot of mistakes this season, right from early with Thomas Partey playing at right back, and it just wasn't working. Playing Havertz from the get-go, not slowly feeding him into the team. But in the North London derby, for me, I would have kept Jesus up front, and I would have brought in an Emil Smith-Rowe, somebody who's a natural left winger who could come in, give that team that little bit of energy, because he was a bit unfortunate with the Trossard injury before the game. So it kind of fed his hand. But Nketiah, he doesn't pull up no trees for me. Yeah, he come in, he'll do okay. But let's get it right. His level's a Crystal Palace, innit? You get me? He's that kind of level. He's not the level of being an Arsenal first team striker wearing the number 14 shirt, in my opinion. Maybe I would have left Fabio Vieira on, depending. Obviously, I don't know if he's got injured as well, but maybe I would have left him on as well at half time rather than hooking him and hooking Declan Rice. We all know he's a back injury now, but I would have maybe give Fabio Vieira another 15, 20 minutes or so to carry on playing, because he wasn't really that bad, Fabio Vieira, and I think he would have offered us a lot more than Havertz there. Another decision which I thought we could have actually done is bringing Zinchenko in the middle of the park, because we've seen him for Ukraine playing that position.
He's a more versatile player. Zinchenko, he can come inside and play that sort of inverted role well in it. That's his forte, because he is more of an attacking player, Zinchenko. I always noticed that about him. Like, going forward, he's class.
He's shit defensively, though. He's shit defensively.
Yeah, I was going to say, he has that similar problem with Trent, where like the downside of his game is the defensive aspect. So.
And Bukayo Saka as well, man. Saka, 15 minutes to go, 75 minutes onwards. He was looking like he sustained an injury. He was pretty much being a passenger. Even he had to do his job for him and tell him, yo, take me off. You get me? I can't last. You got Ben White playing as the winger. Like, at what point is the manager going to be looking at it and think, right, he needs to come off now. We need to bring another player on. I think he managed that game wrong, and I think he should have shown Tottenham a little bit more respect. I would have probably maybe not even started Fabio Vieira in this game. I would have maybe went with a Jorginho and a Declan Rice, maybe played Declan Rice a little bit more forward, or I would have brought Emil Smith-Rowe. We all know what Emil Smith-Rowe can do before he got injured. He came in against Chelsea out of the blue, and he pulled up trees, and that's how he got his run in this Arsenal team before he got injured. He'll take to these big games. Give him a go. I don't know what this guy's done, you get me, in order for him not to get a sniff in this Arsenal team. But I think Arteta, he definitely needs to go back to the drawing board now, and he needs to figure out a new way of playing. When it ain't going for you, get a plan B. And this is what I've been screaming out, James, for season and a half. Go and get a striker. Go and get a focal point. Somebody that you can ping the ball to up top. Look at fucking Ivan Toney, bro. He's out there. Go and sign him in January. Make it happen. There's been
I was even going to ask you about Ivan Toney, you know. I was going to ask because he's one of my favourite strikers, like, in the Premier League. I think he's one of the top strikers that gets overlooked constantly. Homegrown, well-rounded, creates chances, scores big goals, and I think he suits your team down to a T. Everything that Arteta believes in Nketiah is, Toney is, and more. Tony is and more, because he's not just a finisher. He's not just an aerial duel winner. He's also someone who's got the all-round ability to link up with his teammates. He holds players off. He gets them in behind. He can also do a job on the wing. I know it's crazy, but he can sort of float from the central positions out onto the edge of the box and also be effective there. So if you've got Martinelli looking to get in at the back post, or I don't know, you know how it is with wingers nowadays. They're always just trying to find the little gaps in the box and then try and get the chance first time. Tony is someone who can identify those passes, get them through to the people like Saka and Martinelli and whoever else is going to be an outlet. Let's say Odegaard gets a little bit more forward, or Havertz sometimes drops into the false nine role. He's perfect next to those type of players. It's why at Brentford, he maximises performances of Mbeumo and other players in those teams. He brings their more central box-to-box midfielders into the actual attacking play of the game. And that's an example of someone. I think if you guys got him, you've got your 20-goal-a-season striker. The dude scored 20 goals for Brentford, broski. I'm not being funny or not. If he scored 20 goals for Brentford, I would like to think that Arteta could get a tune out of a player like that. And I've saw a couple of links of you getting Ivan Toney. He's been linked with a few other teams. Obviously, we know he was a Liverpool fan. To be fair, when he done that interview, we were the team that he mentions, and you were the team that he mentions. So, definitely.
Is it? Do you know what? There's some misconception that Liverpool don't spend no money, and they do spend money. So I wouldn't be surprised if you went out and got him, but at the same time, she's really need him right now. Like, you are quite stack loaded up front.
We do spend money. We do spend money, but there's about 12 teams in the Premier League who spend more money than us. So we're saying, in comparison to these other teams, we don't spend enough money because we don't, broski. Do you get what I'm saying? You guys spend, though. You guys are spending.
Listen, it's about fucking time we spend some money. You get me, bro? Because it's been a mad thing for years.
Bro, about time, innit? About time. I hear
Yeah.
what you're saying. But yous are spending money without really selling anyone too huge. Who have you sold
Yeah.
recently? That's been a big asset. Aubameyang was free.
The biggest
Lacazette
person that
was
we've
free.
sold recently is Balogun, really, 30 odd million. Other than that,
So
we
the
haven't really
reason,
sold anyone big.
Primsy, that's the difference, bro.
Mm.
Like, you guys don't sell people big. We have just got rid of Fabinho and Henderson for a combined 50 mil. That's also freeing up mega wage bill. And also, we've been stacking up P's that we've been getting from Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues. Bro, do you know how long we've just kept money stashed away? Doesn't even mean as much no more. The gold isn't worth the same. That's
You're
our
telling
problem.
me value inflation gone up. Yeah, it's a mad thing.
Oh, you feel me? You feel
But
me?
you know what though? Yeah, I think Klopp. The one thing you got to give Klopp, yeah, he's a world class manager. There's only a very few world class managers out there. I put Klopp, Pep, them in the same kind of bracket at the moment. Obviously, Conte. I did have him up there until I seen him come to Tottenham and absolutely kill him off. Simeone. There's a few out there that are world class, but you got to just trust Klopp in what he's doing over there. On the Arsenal side of things, Arteta walked into a mess. We had to spend money. We were so many years behind other clubs, yourselves, Liverpool, United, City, all these other clubs. We were well behind him, even behind Tottenham at one point as well. So we needed to really invest, not only to just boost to the squad, but to catch up as well. And I think during that time Arteta come in, we must have let about 6-7 players go, just sign their contracts off, because that's how much of a ruckus we were in. Right now, we have got a very valuable squad, but the depth still isn't there just yet. Saka is playing week in, week out. He needs to get a rest, man. You can see this guy getting absolutely ran into the ground. You're just seeing him now hold the record for the most consecutive Premier League games. It is absolutely mental. But let me just answer this question on the Raya and Ramsdale situation.
Oh.
I honestly believe Ramsdale should have started this game. And I'm not saying this because I don't think Raya had a great game. I was saying this prior to the game. He's a big game player. He knows how to get his defenders up for it. He knows how to get the fans up for it. And the Emirates, the atmosphere in the Emirates, it weren't great. This is the first North London derby in a long time that I can honestly say the atmosphere wasn't great, where normally before the game, it's going off. During the game, it's going off. After the game, it's going off. It was very timid, the atmosphere. Yeah, there was little bursts of good atmosphere, but it was nowhere near what the level of what we're seeing at the Emirates. Raya, I think he's a good goalkeeper, made a fantastic save in that game, and you got to give him credit, because if it was Ramsdale, I don't think Ramsdale would have particularly saved that shot. But I think Ramsdale should have went in with this, and Ramsdale must be scratching his head, because he hasn't really done anything wrong in order to warrant to sit on the bench. I think this is looking like where Arteta wants to go. I think he wants the goalkeeper that can play out a bit more from the back, who's a bit more confident, pushing forward and collecting the ball, like a bit like a sweeper. So I think Ramsdale's days are numbered at Arsenal in the aspects of guaranteed game time.
Really?
I don't think it should be, but
you feel
playing him in this game and playing him in the
end.
Champions League, bro, you'd expect Raya or Ramsdale, one to play a Champions League game, one to play a Premier League game.
Yeah, that's
especially
how I thought.
Massive games. So this is why I'm thinking Arteta's he might see something in Ramsdale that maybe I've not seen. Yeah, we know that he's not good at saving shots at his near post, but I don't think Ramsdale's too bad with his feet. I think he's actually quite decent with his feet. Last season, he got into the team of the year. I think it's a bit shady on him, but I think we will definitely see him coming against Brentford.
Bro, that would be fantastic. Like that. Like I feel like Arsenal's best case scenario now is January's got to be active. And I know that you've spent loads, and like your owners probably sit there and thought, look at us, we've done a great job. We can probably take our foot off the gas a little bit now. Like, nah, mate, like you've actually got to go and put it down a little bit more, especially if you want to sustain a league title charge. That's the thing. If you want to put yourself and insert yourself in the conversation of a league title, bro, you're going to have to go out there and get a striker, maybe even a defender.
No room for error in it against this Manchester City side. And
bro,
we've seen that when yous are fighting with him.
Bro, I'll tell you, this is why I'm saying to you, like, you guys should be a bit more worried about the fact there's already a 4-point gap. I know there's the classic, like it's early in the season and they've just lost Rodri and stuff like that. And you've got them next. And I do want to ask about your prediction of that game, if you're all right to give it, because I don't want to give away any of your content or anything like that.
Mine
but yeah, bro, like I just think we know so well, bro. We lost one game, didn't win the league, bro. I know it's not quite your Invincibles, but bro, like the season where we lost that one game. Do you remember the game that we lost that
Was it
season
on,
as
was
well?
it
We
on
won the Champions
points?
League?
Was it on
What?
points that they beat you to it?
Nah.
Was it on
So
points?
they finished on. We finished on 97 points, and they finished on 98 points. So it was 1 point difference. But this was the shitter, bro. It was the game because the only game we lost that season was against City at the Etihad, and John Stones at the
John Jones, you got UFC. You got to start battering someone. You, what's
Bro,
going
I
on
love
here, fam?
UFC. I always do that all the time. John Stones done the goal line clearance, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this was the margin, bro. This was the difference of me talking to you as a two-time Premier League winner opposed to a one-time Premier League winner. Do you get what I'm saying?
Nah, I hear that,
Those
man.
margins,
Do you know what
bro,
it is?
we couldn't
City are
draw.
just phenomenal.
Prem, we couldn't draw. Couldn't
They're
draw a
phenomenal.
game.
They're phenomenal, man, and they're a well-oiled machine. Like, even if you do take a Pep Guardiola out of the City system, yeah, they probably drop a level because Pep's such a good manager, but they've got everything in place in order to succeed for the long term. Do you know what I mean? Right from the top all the way down to the players and the way they invest in their team, the way they go about bringing in certain players into the club. They're where you aspire to be. And I think with Arsenal, I'm positive that our trajectory of our football club is on an up. Now, people are talking about us challenging for the league and so on, but we have to make a statement. We have to push on it. And it's crazy because if you would have said 4 or 5 years ago, I'd be upset that we've won 4 games and drew 2 at the opening 6. I'd be laughing right now because if you look back at it, it's actually a good start to the campaign. But
Yeah.
City are so good, you can't afford to slip up. And you asked me about the Man City Arsenal game. I think it's going to be the same old story. I think Man City will come, Rodri or no Rodri, and they'll beat us there. That's my honest opinion. I don't think this year at the Emirates we're playing with the same fluidity, the same kind of hunger and passion and desire that we were playing with last season. And Man City, they've got a fantastic record against us, home and away. You get me? They always tend to pull out the result. And we conceding too many goals at home. We let everybody score against us at home. Our away performances are better than our home performances, which is mad. It's mad. It's mad.
Bro, it's wild. It's wild, Prems. Nah, but I think that's actually a good assessment. And you know what, lad? You are like a proper sound Arsenal fan as well. Only because, like, do you know when you say there, or you sit there and you say, like, Ramsdale might not be here soon, or, you know, that could cause a little bit of conflict. And by the way, I don't want to misuse what you said. I understood what you were trying to say. You're not saying Ramsdale will go, but it could be the beginning of the end type idea. So interesting for me because, like, not you, but a lot of Arsenal fans, bro. A lot of Arsenal fans over the previous 12 months comparing your players to mine, which on a form basis, it was always welcome. Friggin' Brighton could compare to us on a form basis. Do you get what I'm saying? But I heard Ramsdale over Alisson. I heard Saka over Salah, and I just thought, no. This has to stop, bro. Like, this has to stop. It's just too premature for me, is all it was. You get what I'm saying, G? Just too premature. You can't put yourself on the level of players who have achieved things that even your greatest legends couldn't achieve. It's one of those things where, like, the points.
You know what it is, though, James? If you're looking at form wise, I can hands down say that we were miles better than you last season. You man were holding hands. Not even, bro, you were holding hands with fucking Chelsea at 11th and 12th, bro. What are you talking about? You get me? That's what you were
we ended up distancing though. You know what I mean? What's happened? We'd had a few drinks. We saw the slightly bigger team.
Right, you have your beer goggles on.
The bigger team for a little bit. Just a little bit.
Your beer goggles on and sitting, bro. Now, look, if you're talking overall quality, people know how high I rate Mohamed Salah. I think it's world class. You get me? He's come to the Premier League after having a failed period with Chelsea there. And he said it alight, you get me? He's been one of the most consistent players. Somebody's always said it there, Arsenal fan from Manchester. Let me just quickly speak on that because my dad's actually from London, married my mum, moved to Manchester, and I've had it passed down to me. If anything, you should have a lot more respect for me because if I was a glory hunter, I'd be a United fan. But no, I took what was passed down to me and I've ran with it and I've backed my team to the full. I go home and away all the time, and I've been going for years. You get me? And realistically, I'm from Moss Side, so I should really be a City fan if it wasn't for my dad.
To be fair, bro, I genuinely know Arsenal fans. I know Arsenal fans who used to be Tottenham fans. Your case is so much better than those fans. Like, bro, I know Arsenal fans who used to be friggin' United fans. I know Arsenal fans who used to be friggin' Crystal Palace fans. It's like, believe me.
Do you know what? What's mad about it, is obviously I go London all the time. There's probably more Liverpool fans in London than there is inside Liverpool. There's probably more United fans in London than there is in Manchester. You got to understand how big London is of a city.
Yeah,
Do you know
that's
what
what
I
I'm
mean?
trying to think.
It's in Manchester and Liverpool to drive from one side to the other probably take you less than an hour. Inside London, to drive 5 miles is taking you 40 minutes, bro. It's a mad thing. I hate it. I hate driving in London. But yeah, man, my dad was a big Arsenal fan. And obviously, as soon as I was born, that's it. Straight in the Arsenal top and back in the Gunners. So I've just kept it real 110%, man. But yeah, what was I talking about before that as well? I just had to
Man City game
to answer that.
or Man City team.
No, we was talking about Liverpool and Arsenal last season.
Guy.
I think, I think overall quality, if you look at players like Alisson and Salah and a few other players in there, you're probably hard to say that they're a better player overall and in the time that they've been in the league and stuff. But Saka is definitely up there. I think other than Salah, I don't think any of the other forwards come close to him. That's just my honest opinion. Alisson, for me, him and Ederson, best keepers in the league. I probably have Alisson in my team over Ederson. I think he makes them extra fantastic saves. But yeah, this season, you look like you've got your mojo back, man. And it's no surprise to me. Like I said, I predicted it when people were sitting here. I had Roms on. I don't know if you know Roms or not, but he comes on to the Premier League Unpacked. He's on the panel there. And even him as a Liverpool fan he didn't really believe that Liverpool were going to do anything this season. He thought it was still going to be a bit tentative and they're going to struggle. And I was saying to him, nah, man, trust me, you got Jurgen Klopp there. People talk that Jurgen Klopp hasn't rebuilt a squad before. He hasn't really had a proper opportunity to build a squad with the kind of money that he needed. And to be fair, he's a quality manager.
7 years and he goes, you know what I mean? He's gone after 7 years. So it's hard to say he can't rebuild the team. When Mainz, he never rebuilt because he never got the opportunity. Dortmund, he never rebuilt because he never got the opportunity. It's the first time he's done it and he's doing quite well so far. So Liverpool fans are going to be dashed at what you just said. I'm not even going to lie.
See King Mo there in the comments mentions Luis Diaz. And that's another thing that I said as well on the podcast prior to the Premier League predictions, because I actually had Liverpool second. I said Luis Diaz was a massive blow to Liverpool. He's such a fantastic player. This season, he'll come in and you'll see I had him as my standout player for the season as well. We all picked like a person that we think is going to probably be the standout player. I opted for Luis Diaz. I really like him, man.
Bro, we really like you, Primsy. If I can ask, have you got a prediction for the City game before we let you go, bro?
Which Arsenal City game?
Yeah. No Rodri. No. Who else have they got out? They've got a couple of players out now.
I think it will
Chat,
be...
Who's the other one who's out? There's another big player for them. So yeah, they'll probably
Kevin
be
De
going
Bruyne.
like Calvin Phillips.
Kevin De Bruyne, he's been out for them for a little while.
De Bruyne's out, Rodri's out.
Silva's out. Bernardo Silva, I think you're talking about, maybe.
Maybe, but they've got some big names out. And if there was an opportunity for you to close the gap, because you have to win that game. If you draw that 100%. Game, they're still 4 points above you. So that's kind of a must-win, especially with those circumstances. And for some reason, I just don't think you're going to get it done, you know. And I rate Arsenal. It's not. I just think they're better.
We've got a lot. Yeah, they are the miles ahead of everyone, in my opinion. I think we've got Trossard looks to be out now. Martinelli's out.
Declan Rice is out.
Yeah, that's why he didn't play yesterday.
What?
He didn't play.
So and Martinelli.
Martinelli's out. Trossard's out.
He's getting shafted.
Declan Rice looks like he's out. Thomas Partey's obviously out. Saka looks like he's had a bit of a problem as well. So we need to see how that works out. I'm going to probably go. Yeah, I think 2-1, 3-1 City. I want my team to win. And I'm going to pray every night up until the game that we do win. But if I'm just looking at it as a footballing man, it's stacked against us. No matter what team these guys have out, they're so well drilled in their system. And under Pep Guardiola, he knows how to make the right changes at the right time. He's quality, man. I think we'll end up losing that game. 2-1, 3-1, in my honest opinion.
I'd probably say 2-1 as well, to be fair. Primsy, lad, that was our first show that we've ever done together. And I want to say, I really enjoyed that. Would love to do it more. And if you want to shout me on your channel anytime you need a Liverpool fan or whatever, feel free to shout me. Also, chat, if you can go and subscribe to Primsy TV, which is in the title. that would be amazing. That'd be great, because I always like to see people come on the channel, and then after the stream, when they've refreshed the YouTube, it's always great to see a couple of subscribers go on there. You've seen the energy, you've saw the vibes. He's a cool dude. He knows his footy. Defo go subscribe. Primsy lad, any final words to the JRTV?
Do you know what? It's been a pleasure, and it's good to actually chop it up with a Liverpool fan, because I actually don't hate Liverpool. I fucking hate Man United. I hate Tottenham. I don't mind City, because obviously man's grown up in my side and they've never really caused us an issue.
Tottenham's your Everton. Man United we both hate, but
I hate United more. Yeah, exactly that. Like, I hate United with a passion. Do you know what I mean? I hate United with a passion.
Them, bro.
Like, I'm one of them. Like, I wish injuries on their players, and that's how much I hate them. I'll tell you the truth. But look, I just want to say thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure. And people that are in the chat, 7 o'clock, Premier League Unpacked is my show that I do with a few of the guys talking everything football. Make sure you come in, and if you're new to it, have a listen and see if you like it. But James, big up, man. Peace and love. Brilliant show.
Pleasure.
Like this video. Like this video. That's what you need to do. Like this video.
Primsy knows, fam. Primsy knows. Now, we'll speak again soon. I'd love to get you back on soon. All right, broski?
Yeah, man. 100%, man. We're active.
My guy. God bless yourself, fam.
Peace, bro.
Safe. Nah, Primsy's sick, innit? Isn't Primsy sick, guys? Isn't Primsy sick? I've saw a few of his clips before, and I just thought he'll be good energy. I'm looking to bring opposition fans to give a bit more of an opposition analysis going forward. And because this is a Hamez sports show, we can just go into loads of different segments and it doesn't really matter. So, for the final part of the show, I was thinking about doing a few more topics, because there is more topics to get into. But then I was thinking about doing a Leicester preview. Chat, W or L? Because I want to start doing more watch-alongs to not just Liverpool games, but also other games. Before we get in the next topic, let me just ask you this question. Manchester United tomorrow are playing Crystal Palace in the League Cup. And I'm only saying that game, it's probably like the biggest game in the League Cup tomorrow, as we play the next day, which I'll obviously do a watch-along to as well. W or L, shall I do a watch-along to the Manchester United Crystal Palace game? Would you guys be up for it? Just because it's more content, it gets it more out there. It's a little bit different. And I'll also do like a little compilation video or something after it. That'll be good. Anyway, what am I going to talk about now? This is actually a big update, because we've got Tottenham next week, innit? So we're not going to do the Tottenham preview until later in the week. This is what I wanted to show Primsy, and I forgot, because he was just spitting fire. He was spitting fire, bro, so I didn't even want to interrupt him like that. Let me just get this up on the screen now. Did you see this, chat? Did you see this right there? James Maddison.
Banter going on, I gather.
Yeah, me and Bukayo had a bit of banter and a bit of trash talking, if you like, on international duty. And I got told that he did the darts celebration. He must have still been doing it when I turned him for the first goal, I think. So I'll have a little word with him in there.
Go ahead, Madders! Go ahead, Madders! Madders! This is why Madders is sick, bro. I like Maddison. He was just vibes on international duty. Great footy player. But speaking of great footy players, he might not be available for our game. James Maddison is set to undergo scans on his knee to determine whether he has suffered any damage, according to Dan KP. Chat, if Maddison doesn't play against us, that will be huge. By the way, Lav Postecoglou, mate. I made this tweet that caused a bit of shit the other day, right? About Postecoglou. Let me see if I can find the tweet. As you can see, I've been tweeting a lot more recently. I've been trying to increase my engagement on Twitter. Those fireworks outside don't half sound like a friggin' shotgun. This is what I said about Postecoglou. Love Ange Postecoglou. Just found out he's a Liverpool fan. For those who don't know, Postecoglou's a Liverpool fan. Also said he loves Shankly and the boot room. I also love Shankly and the boot room. Future manager, if all goes well, as Spurs? ? And bro, people in the comments were saying I was being dead reactionary and shit. You know what I mean, chat? They were saying like, Yeah, these are some of the responses. I'd have him over Alonso. Would be a natural transition on how we play versus, say, Alonso's style of football, which is a very good point. If you think about the way Klopp plays, if we were to get Pep tomorrow, that would take a lot of time for Pep's transition of football or style of football to implement what Klopp has implemented over the past 5 to 6 years. So that's why that's a good point. If Postecoglou came in, the transition is a lot smoother. Now, also notice the tweet. I'm not saying give me Ange Postecoglou next, but if all goes well at Spurs, he seems to have the energy, the uplifting spirit of the team. He's got good tactics, exciting tactics. And I think that's a good point. And imagine a Liverpool fan being your manager as well. Don't you feel like that's just destined to possibly fuck up, but could also be destined to do really, really well? You know what I'm saying? Really could, James. You need to get Twitter blue, get that bread. I feel yeah. Nah, I need to start expanding the revenue streams. You know what I'm saying? Loved him at Celtic. Plays great brands of football. Nice football. He's won trophies, just not at the highest level. A lot of people, Mane, shout out to Mane, but he's recommending the idea of De Zerbi, who I don't mind him, I suppose. Doesn't seem to. He seems to be more of a Rafa Benitez type manager, De Zerbi, to where. Okay, he might have great tactics, but I don't think he'll build that connection. Do you know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. I just don't see that connection being built between De Zerbi and the fans. But yeah, he does play good football. He's a fancier name. And Xabi Alonso's doing great as well. But Postecoglou we seem to get a different type of manager. Or when we do well, it's a different type of manager that does well. It's not usually the flashy names and, stuff like this. So Postecoglou could be a good shout, but I understand if it's a little bit reactionary. You know what I'm saying? A little bit reactionary. But Primsy's a G. He was great coming on the stream before as well. Let me go through a few of the other things that we've been delving on. Oh yeah, this guy. Ryan Jones, big up to Ryan Jones. I'm sure he's a lovely dude who saves orphans from trees. But he came out and said penalty all day long would have been given if it was the other end of the pitch, right? So it was this tackle here on Robertson that he gave to Jared Bowen. First of all, got the ball. No problems from me. Was it McAllister actually, or was that Robbo? Nah, it's McAllister. So McAllister makes the challenge. I thought he got the ball, so I don't think it was a penalty in the first place. But let's say it was. The tweet was a very victimising one. Penalty all day long would have been given if this was at the end of the other pitch. Anyway, I responded, these are such bell-end shouts. If it was our team, in quotation marks, fuck off and accept referees are shit. Footy fans are victims, I swear. By the way, it's not a penalty. That was to add insult to fire. Not a penalty. And referees are crap. Everyone gets the short end of the straw when it comes to referees. Big up to Techers Dave, by the way. Why is everyone trying to just paint out like referees hate them, only them, and nobody else? It makes no sense to me. No sense whatsoever. Just in my opinion, chat. Know what I'm saying? Just in my opinion, makes no sense. Yeah, incredible. The fact that people have really got a big problem with, like, it's fine to have a problem with refs, but to think that it's an agenda against your team specifically, I just think it's a bit of a stupid argument. I'm not going to lie to you. There's another tweet about Virgil that I actually want to show you guys. Oh yeah, this is off the back of the Curtis Jones talk earlier as well. This was his actual performance against West Ham. 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 key passes, 0.4 XGA, 0.4 X assists, 1 shot on target, 34% tackle success, 33% aerial success, 18% of his passes are forward. I did see a more of a Jordan Henderson type performance from Curtis Jones, and I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp is trying to tell him to play a bit more of that role. Does that make sense? But yeah, man, I just don't know. I don't know about Curtis Jones, and that tweet was a statistical backup for what my eyes had seen, which was just not a great performance and not a bad performance. Just seemed like a bit of a hidden performance from Curtis Jones. Never meant to be disrespectful, though. The best duo in the league this season has been Darwin and Salah. You're damn right, Hamez. You're damn right, broski. I agree. Now, where is the Van Dijk tweet that I retweeted? Because that one was a belter. The stats on that tweet was fantastic. This one. Look at this. Van Dijk. Chat. W or L. Is Virgil van Dijk back to his best? Is Virgil van Dijk back to his best? Van Dijk had 86% aerial duels won this season with 4.5 aerials won per match. Small 4-game sample. Small 4-game sample, of course, but I've never seen aerial stats that high before. gold standard is usually 60%, which is the likes of Botman, Romero, Diaz, Gabriel. Van Dijk has 86%, and he has been amazing. Has not put his foot wrong at all. Crazy. James, type in Gary Neville. Type in Gary Neville. Joke backfires on him from Liverpool fan. It's about to go proper muzzy. You scruff or shave it off. Oh, you calling me a scruff? You calling me a scruff? It's shaved. You're mad. Look at me. I'm clean, brother. I'm clean. It's about grow proper muzzy. You scruff or shave it off. You're on about... Wait, there's the fan saying... Gary Neville, yeah. Let me have a look what Gary Neville's getting into. I'll share the screen again now. Wait there. Bro, it keeps feeling like I'm hearing gunshots outside my house. Is this crazy? It's crazy. Yeah, chat, any positive feedback you can leave on the stream as well would be absolutely fantastic. Any likes, subscriptions, dislikes, comments after the stream. Just gives me a little bit more like reason to do it. You know what I mean? But anyway, I've typed in Gary Neville. I'm struggling to see what the problem is or who he's offended. I'd love to see it, though, because Gary Neville's always getting himself into shit online. I'm not too sure. Would you be able to expand on where I can find this? Neville's non-muzzy is rubbish for sure. Oh, yeah, he's got a shite moustache. Everyone talks about my my moustache work. But, yeah, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like my clean-shaven phase is still should be embraced. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I have no idea what Gary Neville said. Should be interesting. But anyway, chat, I'm going to leave the stream there. I hope that you did enjoy, and I hope that you do smash a like, subscribe, and I hope that you're enjoying the content when you're getting it. I'm going to try and increase the output on not just Liverpool content, but overall football and content. It can start tomorrow with, well, actually, there's going to be a Leicester preview tomorrow. So if you want to tune in for the Leicester preview, which is we'll go through doing the lineup together, and we'll also do the score predictions together. Great. I'm also thinking about getting Lee Chappie, the Jamie Vardy lookalike on the channel, so that'll be great. And then Manchester United watch along later in the evening. I think that'd bang. I do think that'd bang. And then I'm hoping to... And then the next day I'll do a watch along to our game to Leicester. And yeah, buddy, wisdom, you fucker. Wisdom, I'm coming for your team. Me versus you. You feel me, Wisdom? We're going to get you. We're going to slaughter Maddison if he starts. We're going to get Human Son. We're going to batter his Wisdom. So just know, I've got your number. Not literally. Don't worry. Don't be freaked out. But like football teams, I've got your number. So just know you're not getting away with smoke, my G. Anyway, guys, much love to you and your mothers. God bless you all. Jesus loves you all. I'll see you all in a bit. Sayonara.